What's up guys, Ted from Immersion here. We're in the wonky setup again because I want to show you guys some stuff here down on the table and get close rather than trying to show you everything at my computer chair. So what do I have a video for you today? Well, the folks from Elderwood Academy, who you've seen us partner with a little bit here in the past, were nice enough to send me this, which is their remastered Hex Chests. So, you may have seen it earlier in the week, or earlier in the month rather, I did a Kickstarter spotlight on the fact that they were doing remastered Hex Chests, and the Kickstarter is still going on right now. But you may be asking yourself, what's the difference? Hex Chests already existed, they've done them in the past. I talked a little bit about it in the video, but I have an original Hex Chest and the remastered, so I'm going to turn the camera down and show you both of them side by side to show you what the differences are. And then, again, you guys can decide whether you want to jump in on the Kickstarter or not. So, let's turn our camera down here. So, alright. So here in the blue bag, we have the original Hex Chest, and in the red bag is the new Hex Chest. So I had dice in both of these to kind of give you an idea. So you can see this one here, it's got a kind of Cthulhu octopus design to it. You know, generic, you can hear the dice on the inside. And there is a little, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's a little bit of a border around the outside here. So that's that. Then we have the new Hex Chest here, which, in my mind, I mean, at the very least, holding them side by side, you can clearly, I don't know if this is a function of the design of the octopus or the wood, but the burnishing here and the kind of, sort of looking for the carving of the, at least of the Elderwood Phoenix looks the relief is much better, it's easier to see, as is, I can get it without getting too much shadow, the border around the outside here. First of all, you can also see, first off, when you look at them side by side, they are basically the same thickness, although the new ones, if you were to hold them, let's see, kind of back to back here, you can see the new one is just ever so slightly larger, wider. But thickness-wise, like I said, they're basically exactly the same. You do notice, though, that there is this band of color here where there is not. And you'll also be able to notice that the top is these are deeper, I guess you could say. So first, let's open this one up. So, we open up this chest. You can see we've got our magnets here. We have just Elderwood Academy engraved. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. There you go. Elderwood Academy carved into the wood. And we have just this like kind of cheapy, throwaway, styrofoamy foam. And then we have our dice. You can kind of see, we tilt this sideways here. Oops, where am I? There we go. The dice pretty much sit all the way recessed in there. I will tell you though, however, it is a little bit harder, I'd say, to get some of the dice out because it is so recessed. It's not difficult by any means, you just watch me do it here. Some of these, like the D4, may get stuck a little bit, but because it's so recessed, it's a little bit more difficult. And then, you know, again, when you're not using the dice, the lid is kind of just off to the side. I'm not going to say useless, but I'll show you what I mean when we get into the new one. And then again, you can see the magnets, but that also means that you'll know how you have to match up to close your lid. It is also a little bit harder to open as the magnets are touching directly to one another. So, not that there's really any risk of these popping open, but it is a little bit more difficult to open. So that's that. Now we're going to open up the new Hex Chest. Well, first of all, you can tell right off the bat this is way easier to open. And we'll talk about this in a second. This, by the way, is Bloodwood with Maple Band. So you can see right off the bat, first of all, as we were showing you before, the dice are not recessed really at all. They're in there, but they're not like deep, so they're really easy to pull out easily because the dice aren't set as deep. And in the lid here, we have this nice piece of leather with the Elderwood Academy foil and the Phoenix there. We also see that, I guess the band is this maple band. It covers up. It's nice. It's got a cute, I don't know why I say cute, but it's got this little design on it here, which may be customizable. You have to check the Kickstarter, but it covers up the magnets so it's a little less unsightly, as it does the same thing here. So as I said, the lids are clearly different. You can see that the lid on the original Hex chest is way thinner because it's more recessed to hold the dice, whereas the lid is much thicker here because the actual dice vault itself that holds the dice is thinner. So, and again, like I said, not that you would not use the top for anything, but you could theoretically roll your dice. I mean, they're going to stop a lot quicker because of the kind of grommets in here, but you could use this to roll your dice in the lid. If you didn't have any rolling surface, or you were really strapped for space, this could be used. It is also leather, so this could house metal dice. You know, I mean, we've got a big D20 here. It's probably going to bounce out, but you get the point. You can, again, I don't know if it was intended to be used as a rolling surface, but you can roll dice in here, and, you know, I don't know, it just has a little bit more of a use than the other lid, I think. Again, this one, put the lid on. Let's see if we can put the lid on in any direction. Yep, because the magnets are hidden away, the lid can go on at any point, whereas we know with this Hex chest, there's only one alignment for the magnets to get them to shoot out. So, there you go, guys. There we have it. You can kind of see that the inside is sort of recessed within this, so you only have this one nice band. I gotta say, I mean, as someone who has an Elderwood Academy spellbook that I used to keep my dice in, sorry for kicking the camera, I am a fan of that, and I use that to house my dice. Although I will say, I do like these Hex chests. They are small, they're fairly compact. They also come again in a nice velvet bag, so they're protected, they won't get scratched. I don't know, it's nice. Especially, these make great gifts, I'll say, because, you know, you get a set of dice to throw in one of these, you know, whether it's the remastered or not, these make great gifts, and potentially, and I can't speak for this with any certainty, but since the remastered Hex chests are the main focus currently, you may be able to get a deal on the original Hex chests, potentially because they're phasing them out in favor of the remastered. I will also say that with the, there is a cool couple things on Kickstarter. You can get the magnetic base so that this will hover. That's an option you can get on the Kickstarter. And they also have, rather than a Hex chest, they have an octagon chest, which is much, a little bit bigger. You're going to pay a little bit more for it, but it holds 10 dice instead of 7, and that was not an option originally. So I just wanted to do a quick comparison to show you guys the original Hex chests and the remastered Hex chests and what kind of differences you're seeing. Clearly the folks at Elderwood have a lot of love for these products, and this is just, again, a refinement on something that was already fully functional and worked fine, but they wanted to take it a step further. I will also say that with the remastered versions, you're basically getting, your wood options are all of the high-end options. You don't have like a pine or like a maple. I mean, you have maple here in the sides, but like the base woods are this bloodwood, babinga, purple heart, leopard wood. Like all of the fancier woods are sort of the base option models for the remastered Hex chest, so they're very cool. So yeah, like I said, like I said, they sent me this Hex chest. This isn't a sponsored video by any means. They sent me the Hex chest. They're not asking me or paying me to make this video. But I wanted to do it because I think they're really cool. And again, if you're curious and you're saying, I already have one of these, is it worth it for me to get these? Well, now I kind of gave you a comparison side by side of the two, and you can make that call on your own. Or if you're going to go out to one of these conventions, you know what you're looking for, because Elderwood's going to be at PAX Unplugged in November. They're at Gen Con in about 3 weeks from now. So you can go and see these things, or probably these on display, as they're still in the Kickstarter mode, but the original ones. And if you're there and you're like, I want to get that remastered, but this one's here, well, you've seen the difference. Now you can kind of make your call. So, let me know what you guys think. Did you purchase the original Hex chests? If you did, are you going for the remastered? And if so, why? And if not, why not? The Elderwood folks do keep an eye on social media and stuff like that, so, you know, if they're checking out the YouTube videos of these posts, let me know what you guys think in the description below. That way they kind of have an idea of what to do. And maybe, if you're feeling really creative or thoughtful, what would you like to see from those guys next? They've done all manner of cool things. Again, we've talked about the spell books. We did a Dungeon Crate unboxing on the cool little cutout Elderwood Academy catapults. You can use to fling D20s and other things. We can come up with all manner of use for these. They've done these with the leftover pieces from the spell book, these Hex Breaker Dice, or Curse Breaker Dice, rather. They're just dice, solid dice made out of wood, and they've done that kind of the generic design, and this was a specific one they did for Dungeon Crate with a cool design. Solid wood dice. So, I don't know. They're working on, new products all the time, so they did the scrolling codex dice towers as well, portable dice towers and dice rolling trays. So if you guys have ideas for cool things you'd like to see in the future, leave them in the comments below, and who knows, maybe they'll end up turning into something. So, anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the long-winded video because I tend to ramble in all of these, but I'll see you next time.